Welcome to the Career Refresh Podcast. I'm your host, Jill Griffin. Join me each week as we discuss the strategies to reset your career with actionable steps towards a finer future. I've spent my career working my way up and through the ranks of global organizations and startups. Today, I show others how to do the same. I'm on a mission to help professionals everywhere learn how to refresh and manage their minds so they can thrive in their careers. Ready? Let's do it. Hey there, I'm Jill Griffin, and this is the Career Refresh Podcast. I'm a former media and marketing executive turned career strategist and strengths coach. I spent my career working my way up and through the ranks of global organizations and startups. And today, I show others how to do the same. Join me each week as we discuss the strategies to leverage your strengths, increase your confidence and visibility, and reset your career with actionable steps towards a finer future. Ready? Let's do it. Hey friends, welcome back to the podcast. It's that time of year, the time where everyone starts to talk about what did we accomplish this year? What did we tackle? What do we want to tackle for next year? Where are you in that process? Do you do strategic planning for both your business and your life? Or is January 1 just like the start of the new quarter and you're on a fiscal, so you're actually not doing planning right now? I want to talk about goals and visions and how they actually connect and support each other, and that you need both in order to make anything happen in your career. A big career vision requires small career goals. Think about vision as what you want to accomplish in your career, but vision are not goals. Goals are the means to the end. They are the tactics. Goals get you closer to your vision. I'm sure you've heard the phrase, you get what you say. And this phrase has been around for a long time. Even Lao Tzu has said, and I'm paraphrasing here, folks, that when you watch your thoughts, they become your words, and you watch your words because they become your actions. Designing a vision is a powerful tool for designing your career and your life. A vision is connected. It's an emotional statement, or it can also be a visual cue for what you want in the future. That's why some people use vision boards or imagery. A vision helps us imagine what a positive future will look like, and imagining a positive future helps us increase optimism. We already know that when we take action from a positive mindset, we increase our chances of success by over 30%. And that's from The Happiness Advantage by Sean Anker. Visioning is this valuable tool that will help you gain clarity. A vision exercise acts as a compass or a North Star to keep you moving in the direction of your career dreams, no matter how many distractions you have to deal with in the day-to-day. Doing visioning and brainstorming exercises around your career and the one that you want is such an important tool, and it's what I recommend for so many of my clients to use it to create the career they want. It's what I've used. So visioning starts with getting clear in your why. Often clients will say that they want this opportunity or that opportunity in their careers because it's going to bring them more money. And money is not your purpose, folks. It's not. The end target here is not money. The end target, if you say you want money, the end target then is about the lifestyle that's going to bring, the freedom that you'll ensue, the security that's possible. It's something else. Money is not the end target. So get clear in your why. Ask yourself why your career vision is important to you now. When you get clear on your why, your how will come. And some people like to think about, again, vision as a visual image. They may save a photo or have some sort of anchor, use a visual screensaver, or put something on their desk that they can look at, something to remind you of where you're going. As an example, my last name is Griffin, and you probably know that Griffin, like Gryffindor, right? Griffin is a mythological creature that's half lion, half dragon. And it symbolizes wisdom, strength, courage, enlightenment. They're also the protector of the gold. So years ago, I drew an abstract griffin and kept the image on my home screen. And every day when I would look at the image, it would be an image for what was to come. I didn't know the what or the how in the moment. I just knew that if I stayed focused on vision of wisdom, strength, courage, enlightenment, and for gold, that for me meant abundance, that I was going to get closer to what that looked like for me. If your why is not aligned to your personal values, then achieving goals won't provide you with a sense of satisfaction and the well-being that you're seeking. So ask yourself, what really matters to you? What gives you meaning? Who do you want to help? What impact do you want to make? And think about it across your family, your friends, your community, your job, your industry. Think about these questions across and think about what gives you meaning and who do you want to help and be of service of and where do you want to make impact? Where do you want to spend your time? Keep these value-focused questions in mind because there's going to be days when you're going to get knocked down or you're going to be filled with doubt. And it's going to be really much easier to stay clear on where you're going when you are able to remember your why. And you also may need to have different ways to articulate your why because some of the phrasing may not work for you every day. Going back to the money example, one day, it may be about having agency or sovereignty of self. Another day, it may be about creating a bigger impact in the world. Both these whys connect, but your brain may not respond to one sentence versus the other depending on how you're feeling on any given day. So when you know that why, you can now start to build your vision. I knew I wanted to inspire others and be inspired. I always believed that anything was possible. But I certainly didn't know that I was going to go from a strategist in business and marketing to being a career strategist and executive coach. Early on in my career, I always struggled because I wish I had someone that I could talk to about like strategic and tactical details of business, plus to kind of talk through the political nuances of what would be going on in the workplace. I wanted to talk through strategic approaches to a challenge, talk about tactical execution and opportunities and dealing with, politics in both a matrix corporate environment and the swirl and excitement of an energy of a startup. I wanted a mentor. I probably wanted a savvy older sister, and I wanted a strategic sounding board. But I never thought that I would create what I actually needed. But I held the vision that work and the workplace could be different. I held the vision that employee well-being was possible while being inspired and doing something that, gives you meaning and you can make an impact. When I began to study the mind as a result of my head injury, I began to apply what I learned around cognitive behavioral therapy, positive psychology, and understanding how the brain works in the risk-reward cycle back into the workplace. My mindset became incredibly positive. I was more confident and more resourceful. I was always looking for and being in the solution. My income and productivity increased, and I began to get the recognition that I was so craving early on because I was bringing value to my clients, to my teams, to my partners, and the workplace. I had a big vision to create this type of success for others, and I didn't know how to do it. I just started to apply my strategic training to my own vision. I kind of became my first client. I would often think about how to explain to interns or anybody that was new or junior to the team the difference between vision and goal. So let's say you have a why, which is that you want freedom and agency of self so that you can create the life that you want. And this also delivers on your values of inspiration, connection, wisdom, trust, achievement. So you could say that your vision is to lead a team and make an impact in the workplace. Then the goal could be to shape your career narrative so that you can get clear on your next career move. You may have a goal then of positioning yourself to get that job so that you're positioned as the best candidate. And in order to do so, you'll need to know your strengths. And yeah, I said you'll need to sell yourself because getting a job is basically one big sales funnel. You may have another goal of ensuring that you are aligned to an organization's values. And here it's going to be your goal to get in touch with your own values. A vision can feel far away, but a vision doesn't keep you up at night. A vision does not create worry. A vision feels possible, exciting, inspiring, fun. It's the goals that worry you. Goals and the steps along the way are what keep you up at night. The goal is gets a little closer, it's a little nearer, so the pressure is on. When you achieve and you're accountable, that's also where at times we feel pressure. And that's why so many people end up hiring career coaches so that they can have support and work towards their goals along the way. When you work on the steps or the goals along the way, you're going to get closer to your vision. The additional benefit here is that your brain starts to feel the smaller win and the accomplishment, and you complete the reward cycle. Because otherwise, you're only in the anticipation of the goal. You're not in the completion of the reward. So your brain doesn't know that you get it. That's a problem because then it creates a level of anxiety that you're always searching and trying to get to the next thing, never letting your brain know that you have it. When you take these actions, your vision starts to feel achievable, and smaller goals give you a micro win. They scratch that itch of the brain's reward center. I spent the first half of my career in goals, the tactics. Yeah, sure, I definitely achieved things, but I didn't really know where I was going. I didn't know how to shift from only accomplishing goals and checking things off my list to elevating to a vision. But when I made this shift, it was so empowering and I was no longer rudderless. Today, I show others how to achieve their smaller goals so that they can get clear to their vision. I also help people set that vision and get clear on their purpose. And without that bigger vision, you could get lost along the way. So the goals are the steps, they are the how. And you may not know the how today, but the answer to your how is yes. You want the how? Try it. You're not sure? Try it. Those are the yeses. And one of my most powerful thoughts that has always worked for me is it's done. And now I just need to figure out how I do it. So if I'm in the place of my accomplishment is done and achieved, then there's a relaxation that happens there. And now my brain just needs to now follow the tactical steps to get there. What happens is we're no longer in the primitive brain, which is what's creating the fear. We're able, that thought that it's done is able to calm us. And then we can get back into the prefrontal cortex, which is our thinking part. We can't be in solution and in fear at the same time. So when I say it's done, it gives that sense of ease. And then my prefrontal cortex, my strategic thinking can come back into place. And that might be a little nerdy for all of you, but I want you to know that this isn't just woo, this is real and this is how it works. So, how do you create a vision? Well, like I said, it's getting clear on your why. It's creating that vision, and you might go to create that vision through the five senses. Think about when you say it's done or you're there, or you're realizing the vision. What will you see? What will you hear? What will you smell? What will you touch? What can you taste? And before you're like, ew, taste, I often feel like the mint in my mouth, like I have a lozenge or a sucker that's minty. And then I'm really getting into the experience because scent and memory are so connected. And if I can connect into that, I can bring myself back into the vision. Next, reconnect with your values. How these values are going to be your partner and your co-pilot to help you navigate. I recently did an episode on why you need to get clear on your workplace values. It's episode 41. I'll also put the link in the show notes, but give that a listen so you get reconnected on determining your workplace values. And then spend time envisioning, thinking, dreaming what your career will look like, who you'll be talking to, how will you feel when you get there. Think about it as like a GPS analogy. You're safe, you're sure, you're on your way. The GPS is going to guide you. You don't have to spend time in the tactics along the way because the GPS is getting you there. So you can just spend time thinking about the destination and the fun or the joy or the excitement you're going to have. Think about your vision that way. And then the other side of that is, you need to be in the goal. So you need to be thinking about the steps and the milestones along the way, but don't do it for a level that's obsessive. If it starts to feel stressful and obsessive, I want you to go back into thinking about your destination and the absolute vision that you're creating yourself. You have to experiment around the tactics and the milestones along the way, but just make sure that you balance that tactical heaviness of the goals with the inspiration of the vision, or you may lose your connection to your why. All right, friends, let me know what you uncover as you go through your own visioning exercise. I'd love to hear from you. And before I wrap, I do want to let you know that I am launching a career strengths coaching program that really helps you with a lot of this, helps you set your purpose, helps you understand and create your career narrative. And we do this by getting clear on our strengths, our skills, our values. It is essentially what you're going to do and what you're wanting to shape to get on that bigger stage and to make those career changes and to create a career and life that works for you. So I'm going to put the link to get on the list for more information in the show notes. All right, everybody, have a great week, and I'm going to see you next time. Thanks for listening to the Career Refresh podcast. If you're enjoying this podcast and you want more career and mindset tips, get on my email list by going to jillgriffincoaching.com. I'll also put that link in the show notes. But before you go, please rate and review this podcast, as it helps me get the word out to people everywhere so they can also thrive in the workplace. I'll see you next time. Hey, thanks for listening to the Career Refresh podcast. If you're enjoying this podcast and you want more career and mindset tips, get on my email list by going to jillgriffincoaching.com. I'll also put that link in the show notes. But before you go, please rate and review this podcast, as it helps me get the word out to people everywhere so they can thrive in the workplace. I'll see you next time.